Cause I know it's some people who, I'm a hypothetical, I'm gonna go out on a limb. And it could be some people out here who come into their awakening, they're starting to do the work, they're learning more about who they are. And we kind of brought this up before. They may be separating their spiritual life from their relationship life. Like their spiritual life may not be something that the person that they're in a relationship really know. Like they may not even really know who
Yeah,
the
it
fuck
scares
they
them.
are. So are
Mhm.
you wasting your time even with this connect? Because you're not giving the other person the opportunity to evolve if
Yeah,
they don't even know that you a warlock, if they don't
yeah,
even know that you a witch. Like you have one persona, because we'll know because we have jobs,
I
we
did
have
that.
family,
I did
exactly,
that.
we know how to be dual. Like we know how to be like a regular ass person when nobody ever know looking at you that you just be in here cooking up shit. And
Yeah, we
then
had to though. Yeah.
exactly. And then on the other end, be like, oh, I'm over here doing all these spells and stuff. And then I'm over here without, I always think about Bewitched because her biggest
Yeah.
thing was, I'm going to tell Darren. Darren got to know I'm a witch. Like,
Yeah.
he going to love me. Like, here, her biggest thing was, he going to love me if I'm a witch or not. Like, I just had to tell me. She told him and the honeymoon, like I'm a witch, and showed him and be like, he gonna love me anyway. So are you Samantha? Or are
Yeah.
y'all secret? Or because I feel like if you secret, you are wasting your time because you're not giving that person time to opportunity to evolve because they're with you
Yeah.
to actually see that, I think.
I did that. I did that. And I did it within my divine connection. I held, even though my partner knew that I did tarot cards and I did all of that, but he didn't know because he had never been introduced
Mm-hmm.
to, he hadn't been in that state of consciousness. Like that's something that he came into because I came into it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I came into it because I something within our connection catapulted that within my life. So
Mm-hmm.
it literally, I hid the extent of what I did. Like he didn't know certain things, and then once it all came out, once we got really close and it came out, like I had to deal with the backfire from it. So in a way, it is. I don't feel like it's wasting time. Exactly. If you never tell them, then yes, that is a waste of time because you don't give them a chance. But in my perspective, I had to, once I came out with it, once I came out that closet, out the spiritual closet, and was like, listen, this is what I do. This
Out
is
the
the things
spiritual
that I'm,
closet.
it was almost like, now I ain't know all that. Like I ain't know that they went to this extent. I ain't know like I had to explain. It turned into me having to defend myself. Like it turned into a whole thing. When you're upfront off the jump, then it's better. Then you can give that person a choice whether or not they want to deal with that or not. Like you
Mhm.
give them that choice whether or not they want to evolve in that way or not. When you hide it and you not fully come like fully out there and fully, because I had a problem with just telling anybody what I did in the class. I felt like it wasn't their damn business. But then I had to realize too that, this is who I am and I can't keep hiding who I am just to make other people feel comfortable. Like I'm not here to make people feel comfortable. And so I had to understand that. So when my divine partner, when we finally had that discussion, it made him really uncomfortable. And it made him
Mhm.
uncomfortable to the point where, you know, it did take a toll on the relationship, but it didn't stop him from loving me. He still loved
Mhm.
me. He still was around. Like he did those things, even though he didn't believe in it. So it was almost like, in a way, because I didn't fully come out, his ascension was a little bit slower because I didn't, like I didn't fully present myself as who I am and what I do
From the
and the
beginning.
things that I
Mhm.
do. Like when he needed help, baby, I can go into that. I can go into my little tool bag and we can pull some things out of a. I can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Okay, if you need to. But I didn't let him know like that's what I was doing. I could
Mhm.
go into prayer and then pray some stuff up and then conjure it up and it come up. I didn't know that. I didn't tell him those things. So it was like he was caught off guard. So you right, being truthful up front is most definitely the move to make, especially within these partnerships. You want to give your partner the chance to ascend in that way, or to even come into his own, because it's like planting a seed. Now they want to know what you're doing, how you doing it, what kind of magic are you doing, what do you mean by magic? Like, I now it was like I had to. It's almost kind of like pulling teeth. You have to be like, okay, you're a magical being. You know that, right? Like, you're a warlock. I
But
know
I
that I
can only
have
think, like, if it was me
yeah.
and my partner didn't tell me, like, without me being, and I'm just taking the switching it. Like, if I
Mhm.
wasn't into my enlightenment journey and he was practicing magic or whatever, he didn't tell me, and then later on he tell me, then of course the program mindset of what magic is like, okay, well, what you doing? You doing some type of
Mhm.
voodoo on me? You trying to do some type of
Yeah.
spell on me? Like, now I feel like you could be doing anything because you ain't tell me this at first. Like, it
Mhm.
may not be verbalized like that, but in the back of your mind, you probably be
Yeah,
thinking like, well,
it's
damn,
like
what the
that.
fuck is you
Mhm.
doing? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you wouldn't tell me from the get jump. So now I might think anything. What kind of witch are you, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, I really want
Yeah.
to know. That's what my thought process was. What has this nigga been doing then? Like, I'll be like, well, damn,
Mhm.
what
Yeah,
he,
I would be giving a side eye.
you would be
Like, what
giving
if
the
you
side eye, because I would give him
Yeah.
the side. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me?
And I
Like,
never looked at it like that. It was so weird because I was like, damn. I didn't even realize that I hadn't invited him into that space. It was almost like we had been on one level like for a while, that I was just like, I when he finally asked me questions about it, because we had never really been that close to
Mhm,
each other, to where we were, you know, on the level that we had gotten on at this point. So
mhm,
it was almost like I was kind of in shock, just like he was in shock. Like, I'm like, damn, I really haven't invited you into this space at all. Like, I have, like, with my tarot cards, because when I was practicing tarot, I was, practicing on anybody who wanted me to do it. And like, I would do things for him too. But I don't think that he knew the extent. And so at that point, yeah, I had to defend myself. It
yeah,
did. I know that he was thinking those types of things, but
hell yeah.
when you really know me, you know that I'm not forcing shit.
Like, what
Okay, I'm
you
not forcing
doing?
your
But
ass
like,
to do
but
shit.
at the end of the day, be like, you been fucking with me. You ought to know me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of like where I would come out with it. Be like, hey, at the end of the day, we've been kicking it, and you should know if it's anything that I've been doing, this is to better your ass. So you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's
So
on your behalf and for
it's
your
for your
highest and
greater
greatest good
good, sir.
always.
It's for
Yeah,
your greater good.
yeah, yeah.
But I
I'm
know
not
with
here to.
my,
I do not want to force nothing. I don't
I
want you. If
no,
I got to force it on you, I
I
am
don't
not the
do
one to
dirty
hide your
magic.
underwear up under the porch, baby. It's not me. I
Ain't
don't
nobody
want to. I
doing
don't
that.
even want you tasting my menstrual blood. It's not me.
Yes, that's why I was saying I don't do dirty magic. Like, I don't do
Yeah,
dirty magic
and for those
at
that
all.
have done it, I no
Mhm,
judgment. I'm not judging. I just don't want no forcing. I'm just not gonna force I'm not gonna force somebody, because that backfires. Like, when you
mhm.
doing that type of magic, it backfires on you, and you have to deal with those consequences.
Because it's
A lot of men
non-consensual.
have stuck
It's
with
just
it.
like you forcing yourself on someone sexually. It's
Yeah,
non-consensual. So
yeah,
that
it's
person
rape.
has to
Yes,
consent
it's
to you
assault.
actually doing whatever it is that you're conjuring up for them. It has to be consent. If not, then it's usually universal laws is gonna be able to come back, and all of that's gonna come back to you. And some of the things that you go through in life is gonna be reflection of what you did
Mhm.
out of someone didn't have their free will to say yes or no.
Yeah.
in my particular situation, like I told y'all before, like I let him know at the gate, like, hey, I'm crazy, I'm a witch. So I wanted to see
Every
the
time you
reaction.
say
I know.
that.
I wanted to see the reaction. Like I wanted to know. Like he called, what I'm out here in the park doing spells. What? Oh, call me when you get done. And I'm like, the fuck? Call me when you get done. You crazy? So
I'm gonna call his ass for
I'm around
sure.
here when my locks were short. I'm wearing crystals all in my hair, and I had copper all in my hair. I had crystals. I was just I mean, when you say all the way out, I was like, you could look at me and be like,
Yeah.
damn, she on something. I was wearing the bendy in the middle of my head. I was a teacher. I'm wearing a bendy here. I got all this stuff. I'm wearing the the whole get up. I would damn near have on my Tai Chi uniform every day. Like I was all the way out there. So you
Yeah.
couldn't help but look at me and like, no, like she on something. Like, I don't know what the fuck she on, but she on something. And so that's where I was. And then I've got to a point where I have evolved past that and I've dialed it back a whole lot. So
Yeah.
I came back. But that's what I needed in order for me to get to a certain level in my consciousness. I
Yeah.
had to engulf myself with the crystals, with the teas, with the tinctures, with the herbs, with the crystals in my hair, like doing rituals every day. Like it was like all over me. Like I had
Hmm.
I had an altar that would be in this box. Like I made a toolbox altar that I could take with me anywhere. And
Yeah.
my whole thing was like, I'm gonna show people how to make their own altar that they can carry with them anyway. Because at that time I was staying at home with my
Yeah.
parents and they wasn't cool with what I was doing. So I'm like,
Maybe
I
I
kept
put
a
them altars
toolbox.
up regardless if they was cool or not. I did it.
Yeah,
They
my
was
mama
like,
wasn't cool with it. I was like, well, that's her house. I can't disrespect your house
yeah,
because it's your house. So, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So at the end of the day, I'm gonna make me a toolbox and I'm respect your house till I leave. So
yeah,
I had my wife call, had my crystals, had my incense, had everything in there so I could do my rituals on the go. So
yeah,
rituals was always on the go or late at night. So it dialed down from that tremendously to back to like a normal human being now. But I still carry I'm still that whole witch that I
yeah.
was. It doesn't have to be broadcast because at first I would broadcast because I wanted to deter anybody who wasn't on their frequency because my discernment level wasn't as high as it is now. So when your discernment
Hmm.
level isn't as high, sometimes you'll show more than you are just so you
Hmm.
can be able to attract those people because people will be like, oh, this crystal, oh, this crystal, oh, this crystal, da, 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 da. And like now I don't need this shit. Be like, yeah, I know all them crystals, but I don't need to that
Hmm.
because my discernment power is stronger. My
I am a
ajna
Christian.
chakra has gotten really bright, so I don't even
Yeah.
need to do all that at this time. But yeah, I told him, and now, and he was cool with it because I had to do some work on him because he had a cane, which is funny. We talked about this other day. He still has a cane next to his bed because when we first got together, he was having terrible knee issues and I was putting so much in doing so much energy work. And next thing you know, his knee like, and this was back in
Hmm.
2018, 2017. Now his knee like ain't nothing ever happened to it because I was doing the energy work and he was okay with it, with me doing it. But going back to the waste and time, like I definitely feel like if you don't share with your partner what we're talking about, if you don't share with your significant other, with your divine connection, with your spiritual partner, that you are in about this life, that you are about this spiritual
Hmm.
work, that you're on this, that you're actually wasting their time. You're actually, because I feel like everybody is put into our lives, especially as we evolve for a particular reason. Like no one comes with, I don't care if it's the homeless man yesterday that I saw that needed a hug from me. Like I don't care who it is, everybody's put in your path and in your life for a particular reason. If you on this journey, you doing this work and you're not sharing that with them, then you're stunning their evolution and you're wasting their time. So I feel like their time is being wasted because they're there for you for a particular. It's just like you going to the doctor's office and they
Hmm.
don't never see you. You just sitting in the waiting room. Like what the fuck? Like I'm here to see the
Yeah.
doctor. What the doctor? Like they gonna see me.
Yeah.
I'm here for hours. Where's the fucking doctor? You know what I'm saying? So That's why I feel like they come into our lives spiritually. They're in a waiting room.
And you
Spiritually, they're
know,
waiting room for us to bring
yeah,
them into their
that's a
highest
good
self
analogy.
evolve.
That's a good analogy. Because you know, the reason the you need, and I kind of, you need them, you, because if they're just think about, if there's something that they don't understand, it's just like when you get sick and you don't understand what you have, the only one that has that knowledge is the doctor. You know what I'm saying? So you looking for that doctor to give you, not only give you the diagnosis, but to give you the information
Mhm.
on what you have and what's wrong with you or what's going on with you. And so that's one of the things that I noticed, is that my divine partner thought that manifestation was supposed to happen like this. And some of it is. But that takes work. That's a different level of magic that a lot of people have not come into yet, to where their manifestations are coming to into fruition like that. He thought that, you're not supposed to, it's not something that you have to work for. You feel like it was just supposed to come out of thin air. It was supposed to, like, it was a lot of things that I had the knowledge on that he did not have the knowledge on, but secretly he also was seeking it, but didn't know that he was seeking that knowledge. And
Mhm.
so by me being afraid to, because he's, you can't have a partner that is not as open, or that you can't tell them nothing really. They think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? But I had the knowledge to be able to give him, and when it was time to give it to him, I kind of like, because of what he thought about it, it made me kind of like freeze up. And so I wasn't able to give it to him at exactly that moment, but I was able to give him the information later on. But that is a very good analogy. They need to understand what you're doing too. They need that knowledge that you giving them, even if it's planting a seed. They don't have to
Mhm.
believe in it right off, but they still need that seed to be planted and to be watered and to be nurtured. They need to see that you are not afraid to do what you do, or afraid, even when it comes to them. You're not afraid to be who you are supposed to be. It's like wearing a mask. Like, you can't get anywhere, you can't get to the truth and get to the real foundation of the partnership wearing a mask. It'll never work. Things you're gonna That's building a foundation on what is it called, when you build something on false, y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
But
building it on like shaky ground, like it's not even the
yeah,
foundation is
like
not
skin
even
sand.
sturdy, like
Yeah,
like the three little
it's
pigs.
exactly like you're not giving them what it is that they need in order to evolve their consciousness to the next level. And no, it doesn't just have to come from you, but you are the closest thing to them. This is your divine partner. You evolve just like with through them, just like they evolve through you. So you need to be giving them, you need to be your true self, is basically
Mhm.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You need
be
to
your
be
authentic
exactly
self.
who,
Exactly.
yes, your most authentic self, and don't hide pieces of yourself from them, because they need to know who you are. You can't go to the next level in the connection if they're stuck in a space, in a place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
I'm not saying you can, but they
mhm.
can.
Yeah, they can't. They in the waiting room wait for the doctor. You the doctor. And
Hmm.
another thing that I wanted to share, like, you said that he was like, well, manifestations, he was asking for why this ain't coming, why this, and it's so funny. I love those conversations because first of all, we've been programmed with Santa Claus and Jesus, like we're supposed to have everything just because we fucking asked for it. Ask and you
Yeah,
shall receive, but we live in an energetic world where we're energetic beings. And if you're
you have to
not
be a
in a
match.
energetic alignment with what you're asking for,
Hmm.
and if you haven't programmed your mind to be deserving of what you choose to bring in, because we can want all we want to, but until we get to the core and get past all of the trauma and the issues and the healing work and doing all of that, then we cannot be a vibrational match for those things that we're asking to come into our lives. I don't care
That's,
what it is. I don't care if you ask for $1 million or you asking, to be
do
able to
you
pay
feel
your
worthy
rent
of
next week,
$1 million?
whatever it is, like
Mm-hmm.
you got to feel like you're worthy and you're a vibrational match for whatever
Yeah.
it is that you want to bring forth and believe it. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things like I really like about Ryan Nefer Ahmed was talking about, of like during this time as we're going into the year of the dragon, of us really working on awakening our faculties. Like if we haven't started on awakening our chakras, starting at the Muladhara and then moving up, like if we haven't started on doing any of that work, we're not in alignment to just sit here and ask for stuff to be given to us for fucking what? Like
Mm-hmm.
what is your outcome? And even
When
if
you
you
get
don't
it,
even
you're not gonna know what to
understand,
do with it.
yeah, that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Like, even if you don't understand the alignment chakras, and I leave that out of it. Okay, so you want to bring this into for what? What is your ultimate outcome? Because before I even knew about, chakra alignment and vibrational energy and all of that, like I've always been a visual write out manifester. Like I write out what it is that I want and how it's going to go. It was almost like a visual
Scripting.
business plan.
Yep.
It was scripted of
Scripting.
what I want, how I want it, who's going to work doing this, how's my website going to look. Like back before I even started my fitness business, this was in 2008. I started my fitness business in 2011. I had already wrote out what the website was going to look like, where I was going to work, where I was going to, and everything in those books. Man, they came to pass in the 2 years and it was done. And I was like, damn, I did all that shit that I thought I was dreaming of.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
some
you
people
forget
don't even
about
do,
it most of the time.
yeah, some people don't even do that. Like they just like, I want $1 million. You're like, for fucking what? What you gonna do with it? What's the plan?
You know
Like
what? All them
anything in this
people,
world, we
most of
gotta
them
have
people
a
that got them
plan.
PPPs, most of them people that got them PPP loans, most of
Oh,
them
that
people
money.
that you saw got them PPP loans. What where they at now and what they did with their money?
Ain't
You
no
get what I'm
telling.
saying?
Gone.
It was free money, and still, what was done with the money? Nothing, nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. They just got fresh, got them a car. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that was actually put in, that money was not put in to a business and to cemented in to where it can keep multiplying. Nothing. So a lot of people be wanting to manifest stuff and don't even know what to do with it when they get it. They don't
That's
have
why
a
I
real
said
vision. Everything is
why.
is set in ego, you know.
It's set in the why. That's why I always be want to be like, well, why? You want what?
Mhm.
Why? Why you want the?
Yeah,
What you gonna do? What you want? Why? If you
yeah.
can really get and be able to articulate your why down to the T, then you are already in a space for it to come to you. You a snap, hopping, a jump away from it, already dropping down into your reality. So once you think about it, and you probably, because sometimes you'll ask people something and they just pulling anything out of the air. This isn't
Mhm.
something that they have been cultivated in their mind space and embodying that energy. Because anybody who embodies whatever they want, they become. Like you can see it from any space, from entertainers to people who have business owners to children who want to make A's in school because they embody it. They want it. They want to be better. I want to make mama proud and make A's in school. I want to do this. They start to feel it. They have that feeling and that energy. They embody it, and then it comes out. Be
Mhm.
like, damn, I didn't even know that test, but damn, I passed the mama look. So it
Yeah.
ends up happening like that. So I like to tell people like manifestation is not Santa Claus, and this damn show ain't Jesus. So get that shit out of your motherfucking head and do the work. So if you want to see how to start bringing it, once you get in life, you will start see stuff popping into your
Yes.
world like that. But if you just trying to just beg for shit and talking about this, then like no, we don't beg over here. We work.
We work. Like you gonna have to do the work. It's not gonna just come out of thin air. I mean, if it does come out of thin air, you're not gonna keep it
You done
long.
the work.
You know,
If it
that
started to come
too.
out the
Either
if it
you done
started
done
to
the
come
work or it's not
like this,
it's
I
not
mean,
here to
oh
stay.
damn. Yes,
Yeah.
that person been work. That person been doing work. It looks like it's been coming out of thin air to other people, but
Yeah.
they don't know what has been going on in the past of behind the scenes of what that person has been doing that led up to them. That's why everybody who make it, like in various industries, they always say like people see the glory, but they don't see the struggle. Like before I
Mhm.
even got here, like this is what was going on. Like I wouldn't even pay my light bill. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a whole struggle before I got to be this CEO or this multimillionaire. So people don't actually understand that how you get to that space because it takes time and it takes diligence, it takes discipline, it takes a lot, it takes work. And a lot of
Yeah,
people just want to sit
visualization. A lot of
on
people don't
Santa
even know how to
Claus' lap
visualize correctly.
and beg. They just want to sit. I think of it as like the whole Jesus mindset for our people have made us totally reliant on like we just supposed to have without doing anything. And I'm just
Mhm.
like
You're gonna have to do the work. Your mindset have to be in alignment. The way you feel have to be in alignment. Your frequency got to be in alignment. Like you have to align in order to get something that's gonna stay long term. If
mm-hmm.
you want something that's just gonna be short, like it's like winning a lottery. How many people you know won the lottery and they ain't got shit to show for it now? How many
Yep.
entertainers you know had number one hits? They went platinum. They hit the billboard. And then now they don't have shit to show for it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
The
A
one
lot
hit
of their money
wonders.
went to other entities. So it's like you have to be you want to be in a place where you are really aligning your focus, you doing that inner work that allows you to keep something long term. You don't want shit short term. You know, we give kids toys during Christmas. The same motherfucking day, guess what? They ask for them toys, they beg for them toys, them toys was on their Christmas list. But guess what? They broke them goddamn toys the same motherfucking day they died.
So it's tore up.
So
So it's like, why even do that? You can either be like, okay, not have it or have it for a minute and then not have it, because either way,
yeah.
you ain't done the
Now
work,
that's
you
wasting
ain't gonna
time.
have it. Either
Yeah,
way,
that's
you ain't gonna
wasting
have
time.
it. So you can
Mhm.
either have for a little bit and then not have it, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna have it because you're not mature in your walk to be not able to know what to do with it. And that's why a lot of
Mhm.
these stars, like basketball players, they end up losing it, or because they have so much so quick, they don't know what to do. They don't invest. They don't buy land. They don't do none of this. They want to show off for everybody else, and they don't ever invest
Mhm.
it, thinking that I could get hurt one day,
Yep.
or
Playing for the
something could
injury.
happen. Anything
Anything.
could happen. So, but going back to what is time, talking about that piece, what is time? Again, when we talk about wasting time or evolving, like even when we look at time, time is definitely a construct in this reality, in this realm, but time is not real when it comes down to the spiritual perspective and mindset of the ever, I would say, for the being of who we are in our soul essence, because we know we never die. We are eternal beings. We are everlasting for infinite to amounts of existences everywhere. So time isn't really like, even thinking about time and a divine connection, like the connections that we're in aren't the first time we've been in the connection with the individuals we're in now. So I always see it as like what we're saying as a point in time when we have to do things within time really isn't real. If you can kind of wrap your mind around what I'm sharing, like your connection and your interaction with your partner at this time isn't the first or only interaction and connection that you've had with your partner in space, energy, or frequency, because that's what you are. Your space, your energy, your frequency. You're beyond this physical form. You may look at it as I'm one and he or she is another, but really you all are vibrational frequencies that have interacted and played together beyond the physical form that you've created to interact with and to play with within this note. of
Mhm.
existence, kind of like even like looking at it with music notes, like you got the E, F, G, A, B, C, all these different notes, and I may be A within this timeline and he could be B, then next timeline
Mhm.
he may be F or G, and we play different tunes in different timelines of existences. In one existence we may play a tune of mother daughter. In another existence he could be my husband and I'm his wife. In another existence, he could be my teacher and I'm in kindergarten, and he has an
Mhm.
impact on how I come out in my adult life. He could be another, I could have been his mentor, and for his next life. We just don't know how these notes are being played in different existences. So this is not looking at it as what is time. Like, there is no time within
Mhm.
divine connections. Just be able to look at your connection with your divine partner outside of constraints of what needs to happen next, and look at it more so from evolution of the spiritual form and this physical form of how. And also, like I always say, from a mission mindset of why we're even connecting now, how we're connecting within this time frame. And you can even, I even sometimes look at things that's going on in the world right now, be like, oh, these different things are going on in the world right now. The world is switched to this and the third. I'm having a divine connection with this person during this time frame in this earth. Like, what does this all mean? Universe, like, what is it that I'm supposed to know, that I'm supposed to carry with me energetically, that's going to help me within my next stage of transitioning wherever else I'm going after I'm here?
Mhm.
Because this life is like this, like motherfucker be gone. Like,
Mhm.
it even, I even feel it so much to, it's like, damn, I really feel like physical form is fleeting. Like, it's that's the only way that I can describe it. It's so fleeting. Like, is I just feel like I was born and I'm getting ready to be gone. Like it's so fast. Like, I look at people's
Mhm.
lifespans and be like, damn, it's so fast. Like, this
Mhm.
is only a stepping stone to the next transition on where we're supposed to go energetically. So
Mhm.
there's not really a wasting of the time, but you really want to look at it. What am I doing evolving myself, or even evolving the interaction of my partner and even those around me, like all my partners, looking at, parents, children, cousins, family. Like, what am I doing
Friends.
energetically to evolve all of this? Because I'm not this physical form at all. Like, I'm really an energetic being, that, or whatever you may be a star seed, you may be an angel, whatever, you may be a fairy, who knows. I always say that, like, whatever it is that you are at your essence, like, what is it you are at your essence that is supposed to have an impact in these interactions of people that you have within your circle, within your daily walk, or when you walk outside, when you go to the mailbox, when you go to work. Like, what is that? Because if you look at it from that perspective, you know, no, you're not wasting time, but are you working within your mission to make sure that everybody that you have come in contact with are rising up to their highest frequency in some type of way? I don't care if it's just they end up smiling when they were down. You help them rise to a higher frequency. So,
Yeah.
no, there's no time, but are you wasting time if you're not helping somebody you interact with evolve to their higher frequency, whether it's a divine connection or not?
Yeah. See, I have my where I even got cosmic partnership from was my partner has had a hand in every step of my evolution into my highest version. When I first started my spiritual journey, um I heard a lady speak light language, which unblocked my root chakra that had been blocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she did this light language, she spoke this light language because it was at the right time that I was supposed to hear it in that moment. when she spoke that light language, I immediately started to, I knew that my root chakra had been unblocked. I even came on my cycle. I was having these cramps where I couldn't even stand up straight. So I knew that she had unblocked something within me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went and I laid down in the dark, and I was just laying there, and I was just rocking back and forth because I knew that I had to allow this to just take place. It wasn't like something that I had to run and go get medicine for. None of that. I knew I had to allow this to take place. Something in me just knew. As I'm laying there in the dark, all of a sudden I could hear a rip happen, like a rip in space and time. I could hear it. I know I'm the only one in this living room. I know I'm the only one here, but for some reason this night the living room was dark. It was darker than usual. Like it was really dark. And as I heard the rip, I saw kind of like what you would call a portal open up, and all I could see was stars. But I heard him walk out of the portal. So this is like these connections are really the connection between your higher selves, because you are just the avatar for the higher being of who you are, right? This physical form. And so I could hear his footprints on hit the wood floor, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I kind of got scared. I kind of started to lift the cover up over my face, but then some just said it's okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so once he got close, the day before, I had kissed him in a certain way that I had never kissed him before. And it was almost kind of shocking to both of us because we kind of looked at each other like, damn. So when he came through and he started walking closer to me, I could feel the presence. It wasn't like the present, it's the presence that you feel now when you in that high vibrational state. But at that time I had never felt that before. So as he was walking towards me, and I could feel his breath. Like, and I don't know how it works. I don't, because I'm in this form. I'm not in my highest form. So I don't know how it actually works when it comes to breath. But I could feel him get close to me, and I could feel him kissing me the exact same way that I had kissed him the night before, which let me know that he had a hand in all of the awakening, the spiritual, a part of my spiritual journey this whole time. So this is why I call it cosmic partnership, because literally I saw him come out of the cosmos and do something that I had never seen a human being do before. In his spiritual form, I seen him do it. Even though I could not see him, he looked like stars. It didn't look like, his natural form. He looked like stars. And I held it for so long because I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think that I have lost my marbles. But now I'm in a space where it's easy for me to talk about, because I'm not the only one who have experienced things like this. It comes in all forms. So your divine partner, that partner is just like, it's co-creating with you, just like you are co-creating with them, and they are literally have a hand in your ascension process, just like you are helping them to ascend to the next level by healing yourself. That was a part of my healing, and he came through and comforted me in a time of healing that I needed him the most, just like I know I have shown up energetically for him as well. So these divine partnerships, there's a lot to unlock and uncover within these within the connection itself. There are ways that there are things that you may have never experienced before that you start to experience with this partner, just like your partner. He may have never experienced somebody energy healing, putting energy on him and healing him in the way that he needed to be healed at that time. We all come through and help each other in different times. This is why it's called a cosmic partnership, because we are able to do things on a cosmic level that a lot of things that we were not able to do in other partnerships. I've never been able to do the things that I do now within another partnership. There have been things that I have known, because I'm a natural witch. I've done things like call my partner back to me. I've done that. I've lit a candle and called my ex-husband back to me. I've done those types of things. And he would tell you, he was like, yeah, I heard you. He was like, I was like, how did you, what made you come back? He was like, I could just hear you saying come home. You know what I'm saying? So these partnerships are to awaken new things within you, to help you to unlock things within yourself that you've never experienced before. And sometimes that's all we have is those experiences that that keep us going and keep us ascending to the next level. But they are present and they are here. This is why it's so important to be open. Had I told him, well, I've tried to tell him, but had I told him, like, you came to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that he did this, but the whole time I was also denying it at the same time. I'm like, this nigga can't be doing this shit. Like,
Mhm.
this can't, before I could understand, get a, not even fully understand it, but just get a grasp on what I had experienced. It was like I was like in denial, like this can't be. But all of the signs were there. I hadn't kissed nobody else like that. I had just did that the day before. All of these things had started to come into play, and I was like, okay, this got to be. I would talk to my best friend. I'd be like, it's not him. It's not him doing it. It can't be him because the 3D didn't align with what I had experienced spiritually, you know. But now I can see where that nigga's a real warlock, even if he don't know it, even if he don't claim it. They are real warlocks, and they are able to do things that help us spiritually, just like we are able to do things that help them and help us align with our highest and greatest version.
Yeah, I kinda can see that in ways. I just don't see that with one person. Like,
Yeah.
I see all of the connections that come into my space as doing that, as being aspects as I continue to do the work, as being reflections and aspects to help on my journey. However, like you said, with the cosmic partnership and divine connection, it goes a little bit deeper. I would
Mm,
say more so from my perspective, because there is a tantra or a engagement of tantric activity
yeah.
within this divine connection. So even if it's from kissing to nipple massage to sex or whatever it is, like that tantra aspect creates a different type of entanglement that makes that person, if they are even close to, like you said, at their essence, they may not know at their essence what they are, but at their essence, if they are within, I would say, like the same star system that you're
Hmm.
from, then especially within those intimate settings, you're gonna feel that core essence actually attached to you like a plug going into a socket. It's like
Hmm.
light comes on or electricity or whatever it is starting to fuel this. I'm having more of a flame or a light come on within me because now I've connected with someone who's from my same star system. Now I
Hmm.
do I have an affinity, an affection, and a connection to my partner.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like he would be the only one that could do that plug that create that flame, because I feel like there's an infinitude of possibilities because I've
Yeah.
created those. So because
Yeah.
I've created those infinitude of possibilities, then it could be, if one chooses, because it's a free will, if one chooses to, hey, like, I'm gonna stop elevating at this point, but if I'm choosing to continue, then wherever that's left, then that next cosmic partner can pick up there, or walk in will occur. Cause I don't even know
Yeah.
if it's a walk
Like,
in in
and I
his
believe,
ass. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
yes.
So that walking, excuse
Bless you.
me, will leave out of that physical form and hop into another physical form. We're gonna continue this journey until we ascend out of this
Yeah,
reality.
because it's
So
not the physical. It's
exactly.
not the
Excuse
physical. It is that cosmic part of yourself that you have access to.
me.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that it is that it can come in different forms. Like I have seen this same form come into different and talk to me through different people, not even just one person. Just like your ancestors come and they talk to you through other people, they communicate with you through people, through the homeless man on the street. Like you can, these, it's not confined to the physical form, but you can. When I was still trying to get a grasp on it and understand it, that's when I was trying to correlate the physical with what I had experienced. When it's beyond this physical realm. You know, these connections are beyond this physical realm. Your inner masculine is going to talk to you through any masculine if it can. It'll come through any masculine. You know, anybody. It doesn't even really have to be a masculine figure. It can. I have had friends that have given me messages from my divine partner, not in his physical form, but through the higher self. I've gotten messages, come through friends. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I remember and it always seemed to be a Virgo. It's always seemed to be a Virgo that just comes through and be like, well, you got to finish what you start. What sense in getting to this far and then not seeing it through to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Just little simple things that would just come through. But at the time, I could not I could not differentiate the physical from the spiritual. I'm thinking that the spiritual have to match the physical and the physical have to match the spiritual. I wasn't in the mind frame of knowing that, you know, this is way beyond the physical realm. I can look at the physical realm and be as grounded as I want to. It's not going to give me the answers that I need. The answers are not here in this physical realm. The answers are in the spiritual. Everything that you do is spiritually connected to something. And we
Yes, it
all
is
are connected.
energetic.
Like you have given me messages through your connection. Like, we all just are
Exactly.
connecting. Yeah.
We are
Divine.
energetic. And we are energetically connected. And
Yeah.
even if you in and even if it's in a lower frequency connection where you with some man that's beating your ass right now, and you in a traumatic experience right now, that's a connection that's going to help you get out of that. And what it's supposed to do is went so extreme that the previous messages that you've had before you weren't awake, so it gets louder and louder. So now
Mhm.
you at a point to where you need to come back to you, because the self-love wasn't there, it wasn't in the space that it was supposed to be for you to see who you are. So you'll get to a
Mhm.
space where, because I've been in a domestic violence situation where a man putting his
I
hands
have
on me,
to.
and I can always reflect back to where I was at that time. And I was like, I ain't mad at him. I'm just mad at the fact that I wasn't even coming from a two-parent household. Parents had been together forever. Didn't even make a difference, because like I ain't never had no daddy issues and nothing. Like my daddy loved the fuck out of me. Like never was no problems there. And it's like, so what it was is that, we may get into people pleasing or over giving situation where we don't even see that we're doing things for acceptance. And because we're doing things for acceptance, we're lacking the self-love of to ourselves to even recognize who we are as these high energetic beings on this realm. So what the
Mhm.
universe do is shake your ass up, flap, 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 flap. Wake up. It actually is like you need to wake up to who you are. Get out of this. You need to wake up to who you are. You need to get out of this. That's really all it
Mhm.
is. Even though we may not look at those connections as being divine, but those are divine messages that's trying to come to you to get out of there to raise for you to understand who you are. And then as you align, like you said, you'll get in alignment and connection with a real partner, a real cosmic partner, a real spiritual partner, a real divine connection, because you're a reflection of that, because you already have so much love for yourself. The only thing you can do is have that reflected back to you in such a higher frequency way, because that's all that you are. So you'll bring in someone who loves you just the way the fuck you are. That's why there's no
Mm-hmm.
reason to like hide what you're doing, because they gonna love you no matter what. It was fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
my partner said on, I think it was New Year's Day, we had went to brunch and stuff, and I was like, here's to another year of me getting on your nerves. Me going crazy, getting on your nerves. He was like, well, I'm just thankful that I get to see another year of you getting on my nerves. I love it that you do get on my nerves. Like, I don't even have a problem. I'm just thankful for you to do that. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like being with someone who actually, all the quirks and crazy shit about you, like that's just you reflected back to you, because you love yourself no matter how crazy your
Mm-hmm.
ass is. And having that reflected and having that given back to you, because love is such a high frequency, it helps you to ascend up. That's why, like, that motherly love helps you to let them, that matriarch and patriarchal love helps. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
children just outshine themselves, because the love that they have from their parents was just so much that they just was like, oh my God. Like, you have some children that
Mm-hmm.
really feed off of that, that can ascend to be great in life. So that love frequency is so potent, it's so much that it helps us to raise up, because it's being reflected back to us. So these divine cosmic partnerships, I see us as little stars playing notes in the sky. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I see us as notes, just playing different notes and just interact. We get to be different notes, interaction and playing like you a note and I'm a note, and we interact the
Yeah,
same way, and we ascend with each
we
other. Like my
harmonize.
son, yeah, my son is a note, and I interact with that, and it changed the tune. It changes
Mm-hmm.
the frequency within me. So within this physical form, but it's so amazing the more that we think about what infinite type of beings that we are, that the possibilities of whatever we can think of what we are. I can't say that it's right, I can't say that it's wrong, because nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
based on the innate feeling that we have that's in us, is really our knowledge base, more than any book could ever give us, of what we feel. And we've come up with a way to kind of verbalize, but sometimes at the end of the day, it's even hard to verbalize with these words that we given what it is that we feeling that we really are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's even hard to, the only thing, like I was trying to share with him, is that you know we created this form that you see, like, we really, these energetic beings that have no form, but because of what we've concocted as energetic beings, this is the form that we created to be in within this lifetime, within this little snippet. This is what I chose to have deal with. This gonna be the color of my eyes, my skin. This how big my feet gonna be in my hands. Like, we we painted all of what we are. Like, we did that just by
Mm-hmm.
being energetic beings of a thought manifested into a physical form. And that's why it doesn't last long, because it's here on this earth plane and then we gone, because we can go and create somewhere else, you
Mm-hmm.
know with these divine connections on another planet, a solar system, wherever we go. It's mind boggling to sit and just to think about what we are, how all these different religions and spiritual systems have tried to bring it together, so people can understand the various levels, because it is levels to understanding this existence, and some people have tapped into and figured out, just like I said about the book Owaspi, like that book this fucking thick about this is like a Bible of this man's journey through these various mind places that he was able to go to and experience these different systems on these different levels. Like it's just mind-boggling that these experiences people have had, that they were able to take that and give it to us, but we're still evolving out of that. Like it's like we get into
Mhm.
a point like we're even evolving out of that. That's why I feel like even it's magical for you to say like, hey, I saw him as stars. Like, cause like, damn, yeah, because we're evolving. We, like you said, we're not this form. We really are just nothing. Like we've
You know.
created ourselves to be a physical form, but it's just like energy. Like you
Mhm.
can't quantify, you can't begin or end energy. It just is. And then when we want to be beyond just is, we come into being in this form. And then when we're tired of being in this form, we may get sick, we may get cancer, we may have kidney disease, we may get in a car crash, we may float away in our sleep. Whatever the
Mhm.
case may be, we don't know, when or how, but we know that's how it's going to happen, that we're going to end up exiting out of here. And
Mhm.
so we just take what we're trying to take, these pieces of these connections, like, and especially those tender ones, like the divine partnership, which is, like I said, which is so meaningful because there's no other connection that you give of this form you created to someone else. Like,
Yeah.
you don't give yourself to your parents physically. You don't give yourself to your children. This is the only connection that someone comes along and they're able to go, either if you're a woman, go inside, if you're a man, you're going inside her, and you all connect like a plug in the wall, and you are connected. So within that
Mhm.
moment in time, that little death or that orgasm, what they call the little death, then there is a shift. There's an energy shift that happens during that time. And there's a lot that goes on when we look at it as just a quick moment, but there's so much that's being created. That's why Tantra and understanding Tantra and sex magic is very important, of having that concentration of those things, you, as especially as magical beings that you choose to bring forth or you see coming, because not
Mhm.
only can you use that orgasmic energy, you don't fall so into it, oh, I'm exhausted, but you use it to awaken more energy to you and your partner to manifest things outside of what we could even vocally say. So it
Mhm.
becomes, what else can you manifest and create like that with, besides
Mhm.
yourself masturbating? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no other way that you can create with someone else on such a deeper level of shifting, stopping time, shifting energy, and within that one moment of orgasm, all of your chakras are in alignment. There's no other time. And so
Yeah.
that's why it's such a huge, beautiful thing when it happens, because if you're aware and then your partner is aware of what you all are doing within that moment, that's when you have unlocked so many various possibilities of what you can start to come in and then stay on track with mission, but also bring into manifestations of bringing things out within thin air. So it
Mhm.
becomes, that sex magic is beyond thinking of things that's like, sometimes people take it and they make it so absurd and kinky and just, and if that's your thing, that's fine. But I like for people to understand kind of like the scientific part of what's really going on, what's the magic that's really going on during that orgasm, besides you just want to feel. Because what is it within us that, and why? Because I always say that about, society going into porn and just, really trying to bring down such a high frequency energy that you cannot get anywhere else. Like,
Mhm.
what is it that they are trying to taint so much that they are not bringing in what that magic is that the Taoist brought in. You know, the Asian culture really understands. So
Mhm.
yeah, that goes into a whole nother. But that's why
Yeah.
after
Karma
tantra,
Sutra, all of that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like talking about sex, magic, and tantra, but that's
Mhm.
just one of the things, like understanding your partner's touch. Like it doesn't even have to be engaging in sex, but understanding the sensuality and understanding touch. Like if you
Mhm.
understand touch, like that touch is so magical that it lingers and it leaves an impression, and it puts, and that touch can even change thought processes
You can even
for
see it.
yeah,
You
it's
can even
like
see it. Like it'll come through like smoke. And
mhm.
y'all ain't smoked shit in a room. It'll just look like you can see the aura just magnify itself in all of these waves of it'll look like you've been smoking in a room and have not been smoking shit. The room is like you can see that energy. That energy is a
It is
very
very
powerful
powerful.
energy.
Very powerful. However you say, so I don't see nothing. I feel. So there's
Mhm,
nothing that I see. I just feel
mhm.
and I'm guided. So whatever it is for you, if y'all see, if y'all
Yeah,
feel, if you're guided, no matter what it is, but do understand like that time, that moment in time with that orgasmic energy, if you a real witch mistress of sexual energy, that's one of the things with tantra that you master, is in going here, doing that orgasm, and then also learning how to like teach your partner how to do that same thing. And when they're able to do that, and especially if it's a man, him learning how to do that with that ejaculation. And some men, like, what the biggest thing they have, what I know it's been difficult for me trying to teach this, is orgasm ejaculation. Orgasm ejaculation. Like most men think that orgasm ejaculation is the same damn thing, and it's not. And it's working on, and he's doing better, but working on understanding and knowing the difference between an orgasm and ejaculation, and how we cultivate, the orgasm through
mhm.
other things that doesn't have to look like an ejaculation. But for a man, they equate orgasm with each, so it's so funny to try to, because the mind concept of a man is that, just that. But once
Mhm.
you get them to understand the difference, then the creation of time, that
Orgasm is
sliver of
full body.
energy within the
It's
orgasm, is like, damn, it's extremely magical once he
mhm,
understands. And you don't have
mhm.
to, and y'all don't have to have a partner that's fully awakened to their true self, because a lot of men like to learn about these things. It is enticing. It's actually, it makes you more sexual and seductive to them, that you even know how to do these things, that you be like, they be like, what?
Yeah,
They may be like, what? That's great. No, I mean, I'm orgasmic. But then just sharing it, and then constantly talking about it, and then they'll start asking questions, just gets them to a point of embracing it more. And then they'll slowly start to come into it, if they're not someone who's
they like
fully,
the challenge
yeah,
because
they do.
it's a challenge for them
Yeah.
to be able to have that experience, for them
Hmm.
to have, especially if it's something that has may have happened one or two times in a lifetime or never have happened before. That is a challenge that they are like, they want to challenge themselves to do it, to be able to experience it in the way that um it's maybe being explained to them, or even just experience it again, like, because when you first start, it's not something that you can do all the time. It's not something that it's something that takes practice to be able to do it. And I only even know about it is because I just, for some reason, one time I just started breathing, like I just started deep breathing, and I noticed that we was breathing at the same, like the more I focused on my breath, the more we started breathing at the same time. And it was like I was thinking to myself, like, are we breathing together? Like, it because it was kind of like it was like a kind of like just taking over. It was
Mhm.
feeling like it was just taking over, like almost like it's an outer body experience. Like you literally are watching it happen as it's happening, but experiencing it at the same time. So it they like that challenge to be able to, challenge themselves in the bedroom. Um, to be because who doesn't want to have the best sex ever? You know what I'm saying? Like who doesn't want to use that energy for its greatest potential?
Yeah. One of the books I'm gonna share with y'all that's a really good book is White Tigress, like White Tigress, Green Dragon. The White Tigress, the book for the White Tigress is just good for women anyway, but the Green Dragon men might want to, look at that. And any of the Montauk Chia books I think are good, but this one isn't by Montauk Chia. The White Tigress, I cannot remember what the White Tigress book, but it goes into the woman, like what we do with sexual energy, from just sex to even oral sex, and then the mate that you choose to have oral sex with, and the benefits that you get from that, and why that person is chosen. So it gives some Taoist teaching, and that's, if you're not familiar, that's Tao. That's Taoist teaching on sexual practices for men and women. But the White Tigress book really goes more in depth about how to have a green dragon. That's the youthful male, and what you're supposed to do with the green dragon, and how to utilize that sexual energy for those who want to, read more up on that. 'Cause I have a whole I can do a whole show talk about, just because this is another thing, like just like the physical form, that's kind of like unfathomable of who we are at our essence. Like we can't even fathom who we are at our essence. Like that's kind of difficult. But when you're in the orgasmic energy, like that's when you have kind of like the out of body experience where you tap into that soul essence, and that's the only time that you do that. And when you can do that, and do that, and have someone else learn how to do that for you, where you're not doing that for yourself, to have someone as a woman go into you and know how to have you have an orgasm, and they have one as well. Like that's beautiful, but at the same time it's such on a higher frequency that if that energy isn't tapped into, I really want you all to tap into that energy more than just self gratification. Because if you're just doing it for self gratification, you're really losing what all of why that gift was given to our physical form. Why did we give
You
the
that
gift of
burst of energy.
orgasm to our physical form? Like the gift of orgasm was given to our physical form for a reason, because people can still have an orgasm, not have a child, right? So, why was the gift of orgasm even given to our physical forms to have that? So what are we supposed to do with that energy? Because everything is energy. So knowing how to manipulate that energy from various spaces within the subconscious mind, of programming it before you even get to that space. And that's kind of like what Tantra gets into, of programming the subconscious before you even get to a space of orgasm, and then creating your own world. So it's definitely, but yeah, I recommend researching and reading more up on the White Tigress.
That's so cool. I've
The
never
white.
read that, but I've
Mhm.
always been, for some reason, Karma Sutra has always followed me. Like I was given a Kama Sutra book as soon as I turned 18, not even knowing nothing about it, but I was given the book um from a close friend of mine who was older than me. She
Mhm.
gave me that book about Karma Sutra. She gave me a book on Tantra, and I didn't even realize that I was tapping into those things, until I ended up tapping into it kind of in my marriage, where it was easier for me to tap into, especially when you have a steady partner. It's easier to tap into to where you can, you know, experience those types of things. But I never I never had it go as far as it goes now. So even with me not even knowing a whole lot about it. I've done research, but not a whole lot of research on it. I just know what I know. And
Mhm.
some of those things just come naturally. Like,
Mhm.
but when I try to do it by myself, like I do the raising of the energy, raising that sexual energy up in the morning, raising it all the way through the chakra system. That shit gives you a burst of energy like you've never had before. Like you want
Mhm.
to do everything. It's almost like re-energizing yourself versus letting it out and actually having the orgasm. It literally makes you, after a while, that boost only comes for a little while, and then it trickles on down later on in the day. But when I raise that energy up through my chakra system versus letting it out, wasting it, like just letting it out, not
Mhm.
it gives me the energy to do and manifest, what the work that it takes to manifest what I need to manifest. It's a whole different type of energy. Like it really is. And when you're doing
Mhm.
it with a partner, you definitely experience another side of it that you never experienced before. Because as of right now, we've only tapped into it on accident a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a consistent um thing, because we don't have sex on a real consistent basis unless we are like, together. But that is that just I think I'm gonna read that book, because I really just do it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Even before sex, I raise that energy up so that
Mhm.
I'm just not in a mode of, being the tigress.
Mhm. But the Kegel exercises are really good. I used to have my clients when we would
I do
go
them.
into the sauna, like I would tell them, like, we're gonna sit in meditation and just breathe for a minute. And then after that, I would have them do the Kegel exercise, which in our practice with Tafari, what he teaches, he calls it yoni breathing. So we would do yoni
Oh
breathing because
yeah, I love
he
that.
calls it yoni breathing. And then for the men, is lingam flexing, and that's teaching them the difference between ejaculation and orgasm. But with women, the yoni breathing, so it's the same thing. Like we breathe through this physical mouth. Of course, our vagina breathes as well, and that's what the Kegels are, or the yoni breathing. But the yoni breathing can go a little bit deeper into actually, doing a certain amount of counts along with breath work. Is almost like vaginal qigong, in a way. So it's actually doing that, because once you have control of your sexual energy, which is good, you can't help but help to guide your partner if they're unaware with their sexual energy, and it comes into
Mhm.
play during you all's sensual and sexual experiences. And that can look like anything. I love the play of sensual experiences and sexual experience, because it doesn't, like, the crescendo is the insertion, and that's the all out play of interaction when you're with each other. But those things that are leading up to, in the middle of, and even afterwards, like, it's just so much, like. And one of
Mhm.
the things that that I just want to leave people on, I ain't gonna share everything that I do, but one of the things I definitely want to leave people on, after, and I don't know if people do this, but I do it every time, is to thank your partner after sex. Like,
Mhm.
it every time. And now he does it now, so now we thank each other.
Mhm.
It's like me honoring
Yeah.
your soul essence and you honoring my soul essence. So I always thank him, like, after
Mhm.
we orgasm. It's a thank you, thank you so much, and we'll hold each other for a minute before we go and do whatever, but it's always a thank you. So if you're not doing that with your partner, like, sometimes people just get up and then they cleaning up or cleaning, let me clean myself off and all the kind of stuff. Like,
Be
before you
snoring, be sleep.
go to sleep, before you do that, after you've had an orgasm, just look each other in the eyes and thank you. Thank you so much. And then that's for me, that kind of seals everything that just happened. The leading up to the play, the orgasm, and then I thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, babe. Thank you. And
Mm,
it's something that's so heartfelt that you don't even have to say I love you, but sometimes just saying thank you because you
mm,
shared yourself with me and I shared myself with you. So I have to say thank you for that. And thank you for
mm,
this experience. So if you are not saying thank you, thank your partner. And then also see how that elevates your connection because orgasm and sexual energy is a very high frequency. And just don't use it for self gratification, but thank your partner. You're thanking not just the physical form that's being utilized, but also
mm.
you're thanking that soul essence that's utilizing that physical form to actually attach to your soul essence in order to bring up your frequency into an alignment and balance and harmony. And that helps to elevate the connection to a higher level too.
You need to be teaching this.
I know I want to be a sex teacher. I want to be a sex
Yeah,
therapist.
I'm telling you. I'll be in class like this with my notes. Say,
I
thank
definitely
you.
want to be a sex therapist so bad. I
Yeah,
need to look at I be wanting to do so much, but I definitely
I
want to be a
love
sex
talking about
therapist.
sex. I
I
do
do
because
too,
it's
because
so
a lot of
many.
people don't.
It's so widespread. It's so many avenues that you can learn how to just use that energy because that energy is wasted a lot of times. It's so good to just be able to use it in a way that it's meant to be used versus using it in a way that's meant to lower the vibration or just, deplete you in some type of way. Like
Exactly.
this needs to always be our class. I'd be like this listening.
Mhm.
Cause
Because
yeah,
we don't get to
we
share. And
don't.
men are used to just expanding out,
Mhm.
and a lot of
And
men
women
don't
too, yeah.
know. Yeah, women too. And a lot of people just don't know that, it's a lot that you can do with all of this you expanding. Just like he was saying, well,
Mhm.
I don't see this coming out of thin air. Well, another way that we can get it to come out of thin air, like
Yeah.
that magic right there with
And
that sexual energy is powerful.
that time, okay, the times that we have actually done this where we have like it just happens on accident. When I tell you we both end up making so much money in that time frame. And I never really correlated it with that. It just would always just kind of happen out of nowhere. Things we was thinking about doing would just come into play and it would just happen. Like it does, it helps things come in faster.
Mhm.
It's a good manifestation tool.
Cause
But
that's
not
the
really a
only
tool,
time
but
when two people, that's the only time or two people are in complete alignment. All your chakras are aligned during orgasm. That's the only time. And you got two people that are aligned, all chakras in balance during orgasm. And damn,
mhm,
we work on just day to day walking around raising up our energy to get our chakras balanced. But within that energy, within that time frame, it ain't long, but you
yeah.
have that little sliver of time that both of you all are, if you happen to have an orgasm at the same time, then you both align at the same time, which is really powerful. But
Mhm,
if you're on a higher frequency than your partner, of course, if you have an orgasm first, I put it like this: if you have the orgasm first, you've already streamlined what you're looking to come into existence during your orgasm. Now you have that energy that you already have put out there. You're waiting for them to, right? So while you're waiting on them, you can already be taking that energy you got right here that's powerful, that you already had an orgasm alignment, and you're waiting on their alignment to come through because you're no gonna it's gonna align. That's why I always said, like, I tell him, now you so quiet because I be wanting to know. Like, I need to know because I'm over here, I'm working. Like, I'm over here,
mhm,
I'm not just physically working, but I'm over here working because whatever it is
mhm,
that's needed, even if it's just needed for you to come into an understanding of who you are, like, I got
mhm.
to do that within that instant that you orgasm. I got to be
Mhm,
on my work. That's part of my witchcraft. So
Mhm.
that's what you have to be doing if you all, and I would say that if you all don't orgasm at the same time, that's something that you also can do for your partner during that time, especially if they're not someone that really understands the full part of sex magic and that practice, that you can be working on their behalf because you can bring them into a higher consciousness through that orgasm, through those
Mhm.
orgasms. So now, just not having no mindless sex, but like we're having, like he don't know it, but shit, every time we fucking, like this is what's going down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of witch we and
Yeah.
warlocks we gotta be. Like the whole job is to help our partner evolve. If our partner like to hit it from the back, that's fine, baby. While you hitting it from the back, talk to me. Let me know that you getting ready to come. So I can know. Cause over
Mhm.
here, I'm fit to be working my magic. Like, oh, he coming. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to really put that out there because he
Mhm.
don't even know. He may start to have these higher frequency conversations about things, and he may not even understand why. I'd be like, shit, nigga, I've been working. Nigga, I've been
You
working
know
on the
that
highest
it
frequency
does. It's
possible.
almost kind of like whenever we have orgasm together, it almost is like our relationship is way more harmonious. Almost, it's
Mm-hmm.
like almost we be in such good alignment to where it's like I don't know if anybody else have ever just waited. You like it ain't no it's like no friction. There's no it feels like there's nothing blocking or nothing like keeping the connection from you two from being able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had such a good time afterwards. Like we can sit up and talk for hours. We can it's like the conversation is so much better. Not only that, but just the relationship in general is almost better, and it lasts for days. Almost
Mm-hmm.
like it's almost like it lingers on and like I don't know how to even explain it, but now that you saying it, it's putting it in perspective. It's like, okay, that's what's happening at that moment.
Yeah, it's a
Like
longer
when that we in
lasting
alignment,
bond
we in
connection
alignment.
because you in a line. Yeah, because you all
Yeah.
have aligned at the same time. So that alignment connection is going to be lasting and lingering because it's also an energetic shift. You've shifted,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why sometimes like people may not even know it. Why they may say, "Well, I'm horny," or this, that, and the third. Maybe there needs to be an energetic shift in your
Shift. Yeah.
atmosphere of what you need. But if you don't really know how to utilize your energy, you don't even know really what you're doing. You just think you're
Yeah.
just having sex. But
Yeah.
really, you could be utilizing that energy to shift your atmosphere, to shift your paradigm, to shift your circumstances and things that's going on. That is
Mm-hmm.
because we always say, like, sexual energy is creative energy. But okay, but do you really know how to create? It's just like an artist. Do you know how to draw? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this creative energy, but do you really know how to utilize that
And
orgasmic
it's
sexual
healing
energy
too.
to create? Mm,
Yeah, and it's healing too. It's
mhm.
like
Oh yeah.
you healing like multiple parts of yourself with that energy. Okay. Okay, you almost about to make me have a download over here. Okay.
And
Mhm.
then if you look at the anatomy reproductive system of the male and the anatomy reproductive system of the woman, you can pull it up. It'll probably show you that there's various parts of the penis and the scrotum, and there's various parts of the uterus and the cervix and in the vagina walls and all of that that coincides with organs. So different
Mhm.
organs, on the penis, like the head of the penis is the heart, where like the heart of the woman, I think, is like within the vagina wall. Like once he's hitting on that,
Mhm.
it's the two hearts connecting. So even knowing um that, and I can't, what's the name of it? Uh Reproductive. I'm having I have to figure out what I'm gonna have to figure out the name of it where they what you call it, because they connect each the male and female reproductive system. Oh God, just went blank. To various organs. Cause I sent this to him one time so he would know.
And
I'm like,
it also that Kundalini energy, like, cause I know when we have certain times when we have sex, sometimes it activates the Kundalini, and I can feel that cool air just shooting all through my back. It's just
mm-hmm.
like, like it almost feels like this, and I can feel it, and it lasts for hours and hours. Um, where it's almost like you activate each other in some type of way.
Exactly. You do. That's what it is. You activating. You're
Yeah.
activating each other. That's really what it is, the activation.
Mm.
That's all it is an activation. Girl, I'm trying to I'm gonna have to find. I can't even think of the name of it because you can
And you
find
can
it.
feel the heartbeat in the head of the penis.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's sensitive. Um, but knowing all these different parts, even why you getting fellatio head or whatever y'all call it. Like if you just doing that and you don't even understand what you're touching and what you're doing with on so many different levels, then you just doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you just out here doing
Mhm.
something. But
Yeah.
by us being evolved and on the evolution of self, then once we know these things, then we can bring this into our divine connections with our partners, you know what I'm saying? And then they can start to learn about our anatomy as well and what this is and what you're doing when you licking here and when you touching here. Like all of this needs to be understood from a vibrational perspective, but also from, like you said, from an internal healing perspective of what we
Mhm.
doing. But if it's somebody that's a fleeting connection that you just, if it's somebody, this is just a sex relationship and
Yeah.
do it for you. I wouldn't be sharing your secrets and all of this magic with somebody that you're not looking to build with
Or
because
manifesting for them either.
exactly because the thing about it is like we've already talked about, it's deep, but you also, soul ties and all that. I already said that you're creating something outside of this physical form. So you all are creating something outside of just exchanging this orgasm, you know what I'm saying? And healing. But there's also things, if you've heard of astral babies and all this kind of stuff, like you're also doing things outside too. So if you don't want to have that type of connection to that person and you ain't gonna be with them no long term, then I would not suggest you do any sex magic with them at
Mhm.
all. Do sex magic masturbating. Do not do sex magic with them. Now you can
Like
always
on a
do sex
partner.
magic by yourself, but I would not do sex magic with someone that you are not looking
Yeah,
to build with long term.
because you really do. It disrupts. It's almost like magic that backfires.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you can't sustain the magic. It's not. Even when you manifesting, you still have to sustain that magic in some type of way. It's not something that you can just. It's not something that you can, but it's not something that you just want to do with anybody. You want to see the fruits of your labor. Is all I'm saying.
Exactly. I think here it is. It's sexual reflexology. That's what it
Oh,
is.
okay.
It's sexual
Yeah,
reflexology. You
I
can
know
pull it
about
up.
that. Okay.
You can pull up sexual reflexology, you can Google it on your phone, and it'll show you this little picture. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it'll show you the anatomy of the penis. It'll show you the
Mhm.
anatomy of the internal organs, and then that way you'll know what organ is going, where in you and then on him. So you all can be able to see the difference. And I used to have this and I saved it to my phone years ago, but it is sexual reflexology. You can pull it up and you'll find that picture and you can save it and look at it. But that's also helpful tip too that y'all can definitely utilize during your
Yeah.
divine connections. But we getting
You
into a whole nother conversation. I'm
I
saving sex
know.
magic for a whole nother episode.
We gotta make that an episode. That's not on the list. We gotta put that on the list right
We
there.
gotta put it on the
'Cause what?
list. We definitely gotta put the sex magic and manifesting with your mate.
But that is a
Um,
higher. That's a higher octave of the divine
yeah,
partnership. Though. You don't just reach that. That's like I say, we do it on accident sometimes. Once you just, I'm about to be consciously practicing it because it's
hmm,
not. You don't. I don't want to be in a low vibration trying to do this. I want to be
exactly.
at the greatest version of myself trying doing this type of stuff because I want
Hmm.
to see the fruits. I need to see the fruits because I
Exactly, and you
know.
will. Man,
Hmm.
it's instantaneous. It creates, like you were saying, like
And
this
it
connection
burns
and
a
this
whole lot
bond.
of calories. I
It
heard that
burns
it hurts.
calories.
Yeah.
And it just it's because sex is already a stress reliever, but not only is it that, but one of the things that it does, it brings you all closer.
Mm.
And even though you're already in a connection that feels like none other, when you actually add in this piece, especially for them, like they feel it. It's like I feel this is not like sex that I've had just be fucking. Like this is not just me
Yeah.
just fucking, just be fucking, because you go fuck anybody, like period. But this is something that is so much deeper and meaningful, like on a
Mhm.
soul level, and we're coming into union. Like we really coming into union, just us, being better people together. It doesn't even have to be anything grandiose of what you're trying to bring. We just want to be better people to each other. Or I just want to be able to, help him, feel safe within a relationship. I just want to help her feel safe within a relationship. Or me being able to be at my highest frequency so I can make this a sustainable relationship, or whatever it is that you think. First start off with just building a stronger bond and connection with your divine partner. And then as you start to see that, be like, okay, you'll start to see their whole energy change. And then once you see that
Mhm.
start to happen, then start to build on that, because now, like we said earlier, you got a foundation. Now
Yeah.
you
Do
have
you
the
think
foundation.
that how you eat also plays a part in how the experience would be? Like, let's say, because I know you in fitness, health, and wellness. So, like, do you feel like before you are to do something like this, right? Do you feel like it should be done on an empty stomach? Do you feel like it should be something like you eating light, or does it even matter?
I would say this is now it okay, it's two things to this. It really doesn't matter based on where you are in your consciousness. That's one.
Hmm.
But secondly, me personally, from my perspective, the best time is the witching hour. So if he is asleep, because my partner has it really good where, middle of the night, anywhere between like 3 and 6. 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. is normally when we're doing something. So if you like, men like to wake you up in the middle of the night and have sex, that's the witching hour for us. So that's a good time. That's actually the
Mm.
best time for us, rather than 10 at night or in the middle of the day, like, which we can do then. But if it's the middle of the night, that means they half ass sleep, you half ass sleep. We really in a meditative state. So we really in meditation while we're
Mm.
having sex.
Yeah,
So
and it is the
it,
best time,
it makes it even more
and it's
powerful,
the
because
best.
now
It really does.
you in a meditative state, and he is more open and allowing during that time, which makes it easier for you to do, like I was saying, holding my energy and really making sure that when he does have the orgasm, that I'm really putting forth that intention during that time. That's why as witches and warlocks, we always got to be ready, and we have to practice before we get to that time. Because when I first started, it was easy for me to be like, damn, I forgot. Be like, oh, I forgot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you get in there, but once you get in practice, then
That's
you
how I
don't
felt about
forget.
breathing.
Mm-hmm. You're like,
That's how I
damn,
felt about breathing. Like,
breathing.
damn, I forgot to do my deep breathing. Shit.
I forgot. But then once you get into it, because you're gonna be in the middle state, because I feel like the best time is in the middle state, in meditative state, in the middle of the night. And when he roll over and he want to do something, y'all cuddling all of that. Next thing you'll be like, okay, then that's when you start conjuring up your energy and thinking, and then start, while you're going through those motions, you're going through those motions as well. And of course, you're loving on your partner and you're sensual and you're sexual and you all into it too. But we got two sides as witches and warlocks. We can be in that, but we also can also state our intentions energetically during the motions. And then when it
Mm,
comes to the peak, that's when it comes back to the forefront, and you can peak, you can orgasm, and your intention are in alignment right there together. And it
mm.
comes out, and then when he peaks and he orgasm, then the intention is right there with him when he does that. And then if it's always good to have a eye lock.
See, I was thinking like maybe, you know, the effect of, the kind of food you eat will have an effect on if it's how powerful it is or not. That's what I was
I
thinking
don't
in my
really
mind.
think
I asked you
so.
that.
I don't really think so. Because I would say this, I don't never do anything while I'm full. So,
Okay,
while I'm
that's
full,
okay.
I
Yeah.
I don't never do anything because I don't really feel like, because I know my energy not there. I have to wait till
Hmm.
either we go to sleep and I slept it off for some hours, and then we can do it in the middle of the night. And I always say middle of the night because at that point you've already eaten, they already eaten, and it has settled. And I
Hmm.
also feel like, yeah, from their perspectives, if the energy frequency needs to be raised up on anybody's behalf, then yeah, of course, fruit fast, water fast is going to be a higher frequency because you're eating those sunfire foods. So of course it's going to make that energy even more potent, because I've noticed even when I was just on fruit fast or water fast, like I could tell
Hmm.
how my orgasmic energy was a
It's way
whole
more
lot
sensitive.
stronger. It was a lot brighter. Like
Hmm.
the whole aura of my orgasm was just bright. But
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that same energy can come into no matter what you ingest, because that's just another kind of thought process in this realm, that if we get beyond, what we put in this physical form and get more to an energetic space, that it won't have so much. Because I really feel like, I have so many different thought processes. I really feel like food don't even really fucking matter. We can have, we
Yeah.
can don't have, we can eat what we want to, we don't have to, it really doesn't even matter. It's kind of like, what are we thinking?
Hmm.
What are our thoughts on what? If you feel bad about what you eat, then it's gonna be bad for you. If you
Hmm.
like it, it tastes good, you just gonna eat it, then that's fine. I've seen people that can eat what they want to, nothing happen. And I feel like it's just a mindset and it's a subconscious thought process. But I feel like in order to get to that point, like I had to, like I've had to program myself without eating different types of foods in order to get to an energetic space. Just kind of like just on our spiritual journey, just like for
Yeah.
some people, they have to go to the altar and pray 10 times a day or whatever to feel closer to God. That's just something they have to do till they get to understanding that they are all. So
Mm.
until you get to a space of understanding, like no matter what I ingest, it's all going to still work out the same. And I can raise my energy no matter what I put in it. But it takes practice. I would not recommend y'all just eating whatever and you're a novice and you just not coming into an awakening. Like it would
Yeah.
be good to fast and do a fruit feast and to do, you know, maybe
That
vegan or
pineapple
vegetarian or plant
fast.
based. Yeah, that's gonna
That
raise up
pineapple
your
fast
it's
had
gonna
me.
raise
I
your
was
ass
like,
up.
what is going on here?
That's
I
gonna
was
raise
like,
your ass up.
wow.
But yeah, we've been out here for 2 hours.
Look, you done had us entangled for a minute now. I'm like, yes, what?
Our next show, y'all, we're gonna pick up on this and we're gonna talk about sex magic.
I
We're
love
gonna talk
it.
about
I
sex
love
magic
it.
and sex magic with your divine connection, but it also I'm gonna share with you. I want to talk about sex magic solo because I've done sex magic in lieu of being with my partner, and some things that you can do and your partner doesn't have to be present. And it's just as magical. um and then if because I like to talk. My boyfriend always say, he said, you love to talk.
I
But
love to talk.
if your partner is open to, like, phone sex, FaceTime sex, you know, that's the best thing I know how to call it, but it's really not that. It's just being sensual. Then things that you can do energetically, as a, master witch in tantra and sex magic and just manipulating energy, because it's all manipulating energy. This man
Wow.
called me 30 minutes ago. I'm gonna have to call him back. But yes, ma'am. But so y'all, thank you all for tuning in to Witches and Warlocks. What is time within a divine connection? I'm the Black Fit Witch.
And I am Galactic Honey.
We'll see you all next Friday.
Peace.